I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
Happy New Year's Eve, Cheddar.
How we doing, baby?
Just fine.
Just fine.
Just fine. You got big New Year's Eve plans?
You know what I was thinking? I was talking to the boys when we came in this morning. I think that my big plans are going to try to stay up till midnight. So
wow.
Like that's.
Here's the thing I'll give you. I don't stay up till midnight anymore either at all. In fact, I'm
like, you mean in general? Because it used to be before Gio was born, you and Abby were up till 2, 3, 4 every morning.
Easy.
Not even like a big deal.
Well, it's not. I mean, it would if you don't have a kid. There is no big deal. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You come home and you lay down, or on the couch, or you know what I mean? Like, it would be like a situation where we'd get home. I would like dick off for a little while, you know what I mean? Like lay around, look at my phone, walk around the house, take a walk, do whatever it was I wanted to do, you know? And then we'd have dinner. Then you'd make dinner because you could eat late, didn't matter. And if you were even hungry, maybe if you weren't hungry and we said, never mind. You know what I mean? Can't do that now.
No.
And then you would just be up until forever.
Yeah.
Because it was fine. You know what I mean? Then you would get up late and it's easy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you guys live so close too. So.
No longer.
Yeah.
No longer.
No.
Which is fine because I don't think it was great for me, number one, and then two, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, this is fine. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time today.
So I'm to bed like 10:30, 11 these days, brother.
Yeah.
Well, not right now because Gia's not in school, so we immediately adjusted to a later schedule. But
yeah. Will she stay up till ball drops?
I don't know. I think normally what we do, I don't know, I'm whispering. Well, I guess she's here.
Yeah.
But we normally show her like the East Coast thing. So it's like at like 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, there it was. And then she doesn't know what's the matter to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it the other day, but just to talk about it on the pod, who was it? It was Anderson Cooper and
Cohen?
Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
The clip
It's the greatest live television event that's ever happened.
Hammered.
Yeah, except for the slap, which I've notoriously told you I missed because Abby said, you're fine. What are you going to miss? And I said, fine, I'll go do the laundry. And I was mad about it. And I went down there. And when I came up, her look on her face when she was, you're not going to believe it. And I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Yeah. The second to whatever, because I didn't get to experience that. This was my all-time favorite live just television experience.
Blasted.
These two motherfuckers got so drunk, drunk as a skunk. You know what I mean? Just wet.
Yeah, dude,
and
I know what you mean.
And then kept hosting poorly, in like the best way. No, not poorly. Great.
Yeah.
It was like it felt like watching or being with like friends who were getting loaded at somebody's house, and it was fun.
Dude, there's something fun about people, not yourself, because I've been this guy too.
Yeah.
Being drunk when you're not supposed to. You know what I mean? And I think as an adult, I love when people are drunk in situations when they shouldn't be, if I'm not responsible for them. Yeah. Now if Michelle would never do this, you know what I mean? And I've been this guy in college. But it's like, I love it. I think it's funny. I think it's funny when somebody gets too drunk.
Yeah.
And you don't have any say over what they do. It's like how when you guys go home with G at the end of the day, if she's a rascal here, you guys I got to enjoy her just being a rascal. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing.
Look, I have a reputation in Chicago for being a guy who does this to a group who really gets things going, and then right as it gets sort of starting to tip the scales into out of control, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go home. And then they'd be like, did you hear what so and so did last night? I'm like, nope, because I left early. I just riled them up I liked whipping things into a frenzy and then just taking off.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because things turn and then people get too weird. You know what I mean? Like if there's always one guy who's like, why is he aggressive suddenly? You know what I mean?
What's he even talking about?
Yeah. And just to be fair, I said one guy. Guys and girls both fall into this category of somebody, the light changes in their eyes and they get weirdly aggressive.
Oh, there's multiple people in my life that I can think back now. I could, I would never do it, but I can name 3 right off the rip where it's like, oh, I can tell from your eyes that you might as well have a different name. You're not even of this realm.
My problem back in the day is that I'm a real good time boy when it comes to drinking.
Yeah.
You were a little bit of a drama queen.
Me?
Yeah. You're having fun until you're kind of dramatic. Suddenly.
Do you know how so?
I'm trying to, it's like you get kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's funny, but it's kind of dramatic. I don't know.
No, that does check
It's just
out.
like, I don't think I'm super social, but then if I get drinking too much, then suddenly I'm a real butterfly.
Well, you famously said that you're like a happy drunk. Like you're just there to rev people up.
I can just sort of like get along with everybody suddenly.
Yeah. My buddy John in college, we used to have this bit where he and I would both do it, become the golden retriever. It might be when I became a golden retriever officially. But it didn't matter if we were at a party and somebody was playing, like Party in the USA or something, or if they were playing Linkin Park, we'd be like, are you playing Linkin Park? I fucking love this shit, dude. Yeah. And we liked it, and we would just hype each other up on it, or whoever we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just part of personality we take on.
Drinking really unlocks like Bradley Cooper Limitless brain for me, where I can also like, even though I can't see straight, I can like think of everything. All the doors are unlocked that I need to be unlocked.
Yeah,
Normally when you're like, who was in that movie? And you're like, I can't get the door open. I know it. But
you're able to just whip right into that room.
If I've been drinking, I can just, so I can really get into like any conversation, and I'm like solid, dude.
It's Zach Galifianakis. I don't know what movie, but I can picture right now. It's him, and there's like algebraic equations.
It's The Hangover.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's flying through the background.
It's that.
You just have access to it.
But I can make conversation with like old people, young people, girls, guys, whatever, whoever it is. I can just kind of keep bobbing and weave. Sports guys, music guys. I'm good.
Easy. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that is a strength of ours. It's part of the reason we have a podcast. It's why I think people got along with us in the stores. Listen, dude. Truthfully, all seriousness, I can get along with almost anybody. If somebody tells me what they're interested in, I can get enough to talk about it. Unless it's something academic. But if it's something, literally most things, I know a little bit, and I'm happy to talk to you about that thing. Anybody.
I think that when people have been drinking, they are finally matching our normal energy when talking about things. Because how people get kind of like intense when they're talking about stuff when they've been drinking. I'm that way, stone sober. So when someone's finally meeting my energy on like, episodes of Alf or whatever I'm into, whatever I'm talking about, 90s basketball.
Yeah, great.
I'm locked in with you in the same. We're on the same team, brother. You know what I mean?
Do you have any good New Year's Eve disaster stories?
Famously got into a physical altercation in someone's house one time because it was like somebody's like high up apartment in Chicago, and like two or three people started throwing bottles off the top of the roof, and then we're 26 floors up, and it's hitting cars. Yeah. And I kind of got, even I'm having fun, I'm doing my thing. Socializing. Actually, no, I'm going to walk that back. There was a dog at this one.
Oh, yeah.
So
just that.
It was a golden retriever, too. So it was our Labrador. It was I didn't care about any other person there. It was just like, where'd that dog go?
Yeah. Come here, bro.
But I'd been like, guys, are you throwing stuff off here? And they were like, yeah. And it was like, that's a terrible idea. There's like cars and stuff down there. Yeah. And then they all like kind of like making fun of me. Yeah. Like I'm bringing down the party. I'm like, all right, well, I really wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? And it feels like 45 minutes go by and some random dude just like busts in like Steve Urkel. Like, or I was thinking Kramer. Either one. Whoever, any sitcom person that busts into a door. Yeah. He flies in. No one knows who this guy is. He starts yelling at everyone, like commands the attention of the room. Somebody had hit his like Celica. Yeah. And he was pissed. And it was like, I get it. I'm on this guy's side. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to point any fingers because I'm not a narc, but like, whole room is kind of at play here, man, and it wasn't me. So I'm almost standing on this guy's side. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, this is what y'all get. Yeah. I was not fun, and here we go. Now we got a random guy. Now we got this guy in the apartment. That everyone's like, okay, I don't know who did it. I'm really sorry. But the guy's like, I'm not letting this go. Yeah. So it goes on for like, I let the guy dig his heels in, man. It was like 25 minutes. And then I'd sort of been like, okay, You've repeated yourself
We're done,
a number
buddy.
of times. We're not going to get to the. He's like, I'm going to call the cops. He's like, then I think you just got to call the cops. I think that's where we're at in this conversation. Call them up. Let them sort it out. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. I don't like it either. I don't like why we're here. But he wouldn't let it go. So I start like kind of being like, all right, buddy, let's just kind of, we're going to move it out. You know what I mean? I heard you call the cops. We're here. I'll make sure the door gets opened. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I can't get him out. Then he starts kind of pushing me. And I'm like, okay, I'm on your side, dude. I didn't agree with this either. Some of these are friends from like that I've had since high school. I don't care. I'll sell them out right now. I don't want to be the one who says it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like tell the guy like, you're all good, dude. I agree. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
I'd be
with
pissed
you.
too.
Yeah.
And but then he gets like confused and really starts bringing it all the heat towards me. And then there's a little scuffle. I give him a little business. He gets out of the room. Eventually, it was just like, I can yell louder than this guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I have more control because again, there's a Labrador around. I've had like 2 glasses of champagne over the course of 4 hours and mostly messing with that dog, so I was fine.
Yeah,
And I got him out of there. And then the cops came and were like, I don't know what anybody wants us to do about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know either.
I don't know
And then
either,
it kinda
man.
ended. So that wasn't really a fun one. But I
Yeah.
don't think that there are that many fun ones.
Well, that's what it's like, dude, I'll be honest with you. I hate New Year's. My whole, I was going to say childhood, my whole youth as a young adult who drank or not. So
What?
I just I hated New Year's. I tried my hardest to not do New Year's things because I didn't drink for a while. And then when I did, too many people, it makes me anxious. You know what I mean? So the last thing in the world I want to do is go out on New Year's, to go to some place with, 12,000 people to all squeal at midnight. You know what I mean? So I've always traditionally hated it. So I think I did a good job avoiding New Year's parties for the most. I have one.
What are you talking about? Did a good job. You think when you're 85, you're going to be like, I did a really good job. I didn't do anything. I did such a good job. I think that I agree that it is literally a nonstop letdown roller coaster. You know what I mean? Like nobody's like, no one has a great New Year's Eve.
And for the things that I hate about going out, it's exemplified on New Year's. Like, people are crazier on New Year's. There's more people on New Year's.
That's sort of the fun. I don't do it anymore. I'm grown adult. You know what I mean? But I like the idea. I've said this before. It's kind of like why I've always liked living in college towns. I like living in cities. I like living in anywhere where it's like you can feel the pulse and energy change a little bit. It's like on Fridays. Like if you're in Friday in New York, Chicago, anywhere where there's a congregated amount of people, you can feel the fucking the energy shifts a little bit.
Fridays in like August or September here are crazy when we leave. When I leave work on a Friday, if we're here till 6:30, 6:45, dude, it's a wall of people for as far as you can see down Pearl Street.
I really like that feeling of kind of hopefulness. You know how we all felt with Barack Obama and then never again. Like I like that kind of group mentality that something fun's gonna happen. I understand it doesn't, but that's sort of part of it. You know what I mean? Like that sort of Greek tragedy is sort of like the best, that like you thought this was going to be so fun and so epic. And then basically it ends up in like your girlfriend crying and she's too drunk and you guys kind of get asked to leave, but don't get asked to leave. So you got to let them walk home. You can't get a cab because it's too busy. It's a rough night. It's really cold because it's January, but everyone did not dress like it's January. That's all it is. But like that whole thing is like, that's the spice of life, man. You know what I mean? That like everything.
No, you're right though. But you hit the nail on the head. And without pointing fingers, I dated a person who was that person.
Oh yeah, baby.
Who, no matter what,
haven't we all?
We were.
If you didn't date one, you were them. Yeah.
If you're in there, you're like, wow, I've never done that. You were that person.
Yeah.
It was. I think that's also part of my visceral reaction. Is like, if alcohol was involved, Chase was going to bear the brunt of it, whether it was straight up or side effects. No matter what, I was going to have a bad time. That's what it came down to, pre or after me drinking.
Again, I just think that's the thing that like you only do in your 20s, where you'll get your ass kicked by a weekend, and by the next weekend you're like, I think this one could be great. And you're like, no, it won't. No, it won't. Nothing's pointing to that being the case. But you end up either someone's crying or someone's throwing up, and I don't know. Like, I weirdly miss it, even though it wasn't fun.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up a couple canned cocktails to take home tonight.
Well, you and me are different in this way. I think I might have fully ended my drinking career At a dinner when I went out of town. When I went to the hotel, when I went to the Broadmoor.
Oh, I was gonna say, just tell me about it.
I had a couple glasses of wine, and they like comped us a drink or something. So I had like, I don't know. I didn't have that much to drink. I wasn't buzzed. Well, maybe I was buzzed. Maybe. Light though, if so.
Yeah.
And
fuzzy.
Every time I do it, man, I just have to. I go home. I go to sleep. I'm fine. I wake up 2 hours later and I can't sleep.
Yeah, man.
My body can't do it, dude. It's not worth it. Like I think the amount of alcohol that it takes me to get drunk is too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so I don't want to do that because that's really gonna hurt. And if it's just a little bit, I just don't sleep.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I've always felt that way where I think the first year of me drinking, I didn't feel hungover. But then once that kicked in, same exact experience as you, where it's like, I'll fall asleep and I'll be up before the sun comes up and the hangover is kicked in and I'm toast. So,
Not for
you're
me,
done.
man.
You're straight up.
I told Abby, I said that might be it. I mean, look, if you're I'm not an asshole. It's kind of like vegetarian shit that I always like abided by. Like, look, you go to someone's fucking Noni's house, some old Nona's cooking you whatever the hell she's into.
You eat that shit, bro.
You're just going to eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, no, excuse me, she doesn't give a shit if you're vegetarian. You know what I mean? And neither does anybody.
Yeah.
So you just kind of do it. I think that'll be kind of what it is. Like, look, if I'm at a nice dinner and that's the expectation, or there's really great wines that someone's fine, we're going to have a glass. That's going to be it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you.
So I will not have anything to drink tonight. I'll eat an edible and that'll be about it.
Great.
Have a LaCroix.
Well, you guys gonna make food? You guys have any traditions? Because then I want to talk about my disaster.
Abby always just makes like appetizers.
Oh, you said that yesterday.
Yeah, she'll just make a handful of like normal, like normie style appetizers
from like a box.
Some of them, and some of them are like like shrimp cocktail and stupid shit.
Fuck
you know what I mean? Like
I
that
love
kind
that.
of stuff. Yeah,
I love that.
It's fun.
We picked up Good and Gather. Target brand has a lot of really good frozen foods. We picked up some of the beef empanadas.
I've never heard anyone like. I've never heard anyone shout out Good and Gather like as a brand. Like in real life.
Yeah, I love
like
that
we all
shit.
know of it, but no one's ever been like, you check out Good and Gather?
No, dude. I think Good and Gather, I think they do a good job. I think Target does a good job. It's like similarly, I think 365 product is better than the other product they carry in some cases. I don't think all cases, but I think Whole Foods 365 brand shit is as good or better than like the $3 or $4 more expensive counterpart that they carry as a stockist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't have anything off the top, but that I could cite. But
well, you know me, when I'm in a Whole Foods, the higher the price goes, the more you've sold me.
Yeah.
Like as soon as something feels like, why is that $5 more than I've seen it anywhere else in life? I'm suddenly like,
I'll take that.
Hold on. What do they know that no one else does?
Yeah. We got a Purely Sedona the other day. It's gas. I hate that it actually is good water.
It is the most worthwhile thing that you can buy that's like too expensive.
Yeah.
Like it is so much above any competition that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I'm talking sparkling or regular.
Yeah.
Or still. Either one, those are, if like, however it would, I can't get into water ratings right now, but let's say you're like a Fiji person. Like that's a 10
I like
out of
Fiji,
10
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. 10 out of 10 is Fiji. This is 14 out of 10.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's so much. It's so head and above the competition. I was talking about. I've talked to multiple people about this. Everyone agrees.
Yeah,
whether you're like a guy like me who sees an $8 bottle of water and goes, "Please,
Yeah.
give me two."
Yeah.
Or you're like the type of person that's like, that's so obnoxious. It is obnoxious. We all agree. It's obnoxious.
That's not what we're
It's
debating.
too expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm only drinking Purely Sedona. You know what I mean? We're working on it. That's my financial goal is that I don't drink water that isn't Purely Sedona.
Yeah.
Actually, in the new year, I've just subscribed to like a local spring water place.
What is it? El Dorado?
No. It's different. It's like more artisanal.
Oh, cool.
But
Are you guys going to have one of the apparatuses where it's the gallon and then it has a dispenser?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. I think I'm going to go twofold on. Well, I can't. Here's what I can't decide. Do I want like, if you go to like dry storage and they've got, I forget what it's called. It's an Italian name. It's like the stainless steel thing they keep the water in at nice
Berkey?
coffee shops. Not a Berkey. Berkey's an actual filter. I don't need the filter because I want the stuff that's in the spring
Yeah,
water.
sure,
You know what
sure.
I mean? Those are really cool though, especially the tall boys that are like.
I agree. I think
$1,200.
it's cool, and it like has the condensation on the outside and shit. It's cool.
The other one's more just a storage situation.
Sure.
But they're really cool. They're always at like fancy coffee shops.
Let me know when you get it. I'm curious about it.
I don't know if I need that or if I just want to get the ceramic one that the glass goes directly inside, and then you.
Yeah, it's cool.
I have to make some decisions.
Yeah, let me know.
The most excited I've been about a purchase in a while, though.
Because this might be something that I would snatch for Michelle and I is because we. You know what? That might be the thing for next year.
I'm telling you, getting something like that and getting like glass bottles that you keep in the fridge that are.
Well, I was gonna say that's why Purely Sedona is set apart. Like the glass alone elevates it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think any water in a glass is better, dude. Yeah. That might be the move because I only almost similarly to Abby, I only drink Michelle as well, but me, I'm worse. I only drink LaCroix, Waterloo.
But that's
Polar.
Like so like I get you, but that's so like pH level wise. It's
I know,
so acidic.
I know, and I'm trying to, and we've gone like there's been times
once you get off too, like once you're like not doing it in a while. When I have one, it's like a little too much now.
Yeah,
it feels like it's so acid.
We try to step away, but we just end up right back in it. You know what I mean? So maybe that is the move: is getting the subscription.
I think if you have access to like good. Like regular water, you'll do that more often than you realize. You know what I mean? Like anytime I get like a big boy to keep in the fridge, or I get like a handful of like big water bottles, which I'll usually do during the week, those are gone in the first few days. Like you don't realize how much water you'll drink when it's like not like
nice.
Yeah, when it's nice
water. Yeah. Okay, I want to tell you about a New Year's Eve disaster that I remember, and then I want to before I do that though. And then if you have something I'd like for you to weigh in as well. I can remember I don't think this was a New Year's. This was just a regular drinking night. And somehow, I somehow must have fallen into a bush or something. But I didn't realize it until I woke up. But I had passed out in my friend's bathroom from throwing up in the toilet. I think I passed out from the force of throwing because I would pop all the blood vessels in my face and I'd look all fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
So I'd be all crazy. I remember somebody tried to give me a glass of water and I threw the glass into his bathtub and it shattered everywhere and everybody wasn't very happy about me doing that.
We all know who you are in the story now.
But it wasn't even like I was being malicious. It was I had no function over my body.
I also just want to say this is what I mean when I said dramatic. You know what I'm saying? You suddenly become like fucking just.
That's what it was. Me throwing the glass was drama. I was so sick from throwing up, I couldn't even handle it, so I just tossed it.
What's this I mean? Liza Minnelli over here.
Yeah, and then somebody's like, Chase, maybe you should go sleep on the outside in the living room at some point in the night because they wanted to use the bathroom. I was just passed out.
Like, no, bitch.
So I got up, walked out to the living room. Long story short, I wake up in the morning. I had just gotten a pair of Rogue Territory raw denim, probably hardly faded. Like brand
I almost
new.
Want to not say what year it was and see if people can guess in the Discord and based on that information.
I mean,
What were you drinking?
That night, just gauging the crowd, there was probably some sort of like red Solo cup with juice and tequila kind of thing or something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like drinking. You know what I mean?
So a pineapple juice and tequila out of a red cup with Rogue Territories on.
Or
Let's see if we
to
can
be honest
guess
with you,
the year.
probably like Red's apple ale. Like a lot of it.
Yeah, there we go.
Because I was early in drinking at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay, I think people can get this down to like the close to the.
I mean, I can tell you.
Red's apple ale, so that was probably getting promoted. So we're also probably talking like the fall-ish.
Well, it's also when I first started drinking. So, but it was fall. It was fall for sure. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I wake up in the morning.
So Chase had broken edge.
Yes.
Wearing Rogue Territories, at Red's apple ale or tequila and some sort of juice.
Mm-hmm. And I can remember my buddy had some sort of like really hoppy beer, and I thought it was just foul because I didn't like beer at this point. So I don't even think I was drinking like Bud Light or anything even at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's see if we can guess
the
year.
So I wake up on the couch in the morning, or on the floor. Apparently, it was wet enough that you would think a whole 30 rack spilled on. So I wake up, I'm soaked in beer and liquid that was just on the carpet from a massive spill of beer pong or something like that. No, it wasn't pee. It was like out. Somebody like.
No, it wasn't pee.
Hey, it wasn't piss, pal. Something happened. There was a massive spill.
Okay.
So I reeked of stale beer, and I had been vomiting, and my pants were soaked, brand new Rogue Territories, and all up in my cuff, bro, was a bunch of berries. That's why I said I fell into like a bush or something. I'm saying like I had like blueberry stains all up in my cuffs. So I must have fallen into a bush or something at some point, but that was just, just how it went. A New Year's story though.
What
really
was the
quick.
what's the brand of jeans that would have like 3D shit on them and stuff like that? Oh, they fade and they look like,
Oh, Naked and Famous.
Kool-Aid. Yeah,
Naked
yeah.
and Famous would do it, and so unbranded was
It
part of the
feels
Naked
like
and
something
Famous.
that they would have berries in the cuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Crunch berry
They had like
jeans.
rainbow weft.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of them I think had like spools of strands of silver in it to make it shiny. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a gimmick. That was the whole
Yeah, cartoon
thing.
jeans.
Yeah.
You ever have any of those?
Cartoon jeans?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, any of that type of stuff.
I had Naked and Famous jeans.
What kind were they?
They were Naked and Famous weird
Shark
guy
skin?
left hand twills.
No, that's pretty normal.
I bought them from a store in Cleveland that my friend
people-
was working at, and I got a Mason Kitsune T-shirt for free with purchase of raw
You told me
denim, and it was
So
$100, and I got it solely because it was $100. I never wore it, not once. I think I wore it one time. It was like really tight. You know what I mean?
can't imagine you in anything from Mason Kitsune.
Nope. Well, it wasn't. I got it strictly because it was $100 and I could get it for free.
That brand is a crazy arc of being like this, like very like, because I carried it at a store forever ago that I worked at, and they carried it, and it was like very like, tweeds and night. It was very nice and like very kind of like, I don't want to say fancy, but sort of like, I don't know. It had like an elegance to it, and then then they just like started putting that Fox on stuff, and they're just like, "That's the brand, baby. We're like into DJing." And
I was
all
gonna
this
say,
other...
didn't it like turn into like a DJ brand? Like,
I think it was always owned by. I don't know if we're probably butchering this. It was like always owned by a DJ or some shit.
Should have been more clear.
But it was like I don't know. I mean, sure, it probably wouldn't have lasted if it was only that stuff. But it was really like elegant and pretty. I have a tweed jacket from them from forever ago. It doesn't fit, but it's beautiful. And then now it's just like, it's like graphic tees and shit.
Still around.
Oh, yeah, baby. You go into a hotel, like a nicer hotel. You go to an Ace hotel, and they're selling that shit in the...
Are you for real?
Definitely. It's always around hotels.
Interesting. Yeah, they're still doing the fox motif. That's cute. Foxes are cute.
Sorry, I don't know where we're...
I'm gonna quickly recount a New Year's Eve story since we're still on the subject. Or not even close, but while New Year's is tonight. There is one that I remember. This was pre me drinking, so I'm very clear-headed for it.
Okay.
It was at my friend's house. Her parents were not there, and they didn't give a shit if people drank at their house or thing anyway. So we went over her house, and a bunch of our friends came over, and then this one crew of dudes came late, and one of which was trying to quote-unquote catch up. He came late to the party, probably arrived 45 minutes before the ball drop, right? And he's trying to catch up with the party, right?
That doesn't seem like a great idea.
And at this point there had already been vomit on a couple areas of the carpet. It was like messy high school shit. Very messy. A lot of crying and shit. You know what I mean? That kind of messiness. And again, I wasn't drinking, so I remember all this. And I remember eventually we all go to sleep. I'm just like on the floor. And we wake up in the morning, and everybody is hungover. And obviously, I was just like, "Well, what do you guys want to do?" And somebody's like, "We can't get so and so to wake up. Like he's not like responding.
Oh my God.
Can we go check on him?" So we go in there, and we're pushing him. And bro, like I'm telling you, like he may have been on the cusp of death at this point. Like he was not waking up, not rolling, not giving us nothing, right? And they're trying to wake him up, and eventually I'm the only sober one at this point because everybody's still drunk from the night before. I call fucking 911 or I called the local hospital and get through to an ambulance or whoever. And I said, in theory, I've got an underage kid in this house. He may have severe alcohol poisoning.
Oh, yeah, you've really covered your bases here, pal. Legally.
What should we do? And they go, you need to just call an ambulance, which if we knew it, but we didn't call an ambulance. Long story short, we keep yelling at him, hey, if you don't wake up, we're going to call an ambulance. Long story short, he rolls over. I can remember it. His mouth is so fucking dry.
Ugh.
It had been open for 8 hours straight.
It's like the Crypt
and
Keeper.
was drunk. Yeah, like dude, it's like literally like the Crypt Keeper. There were spiders and
Cobwebs.
spider webs coming out. Yeah, and he goes, points to his crotch, goes, I gotta piss. And we
in my mind, the story was going down a thing where like the ball drops, it pops up and says Happy New Year.
Oh no. This is on the first. This is sunlight has come up. And he goes, I gotta piss. They carry him to the bathroom. They hold him while he pees, and then he passes out on the bathroom floor for like another 6 hours. He ended up being okay. So we didn't call an ambulance or anything. But I'll just remember his fucking lips were swollen and his mouth was so dry.
Hypothetically.
And we thought he was dying, and then he says he has to piss. So anyway, that's about it. I'd like to hear anybody who wants to share New Year's Eve disasters, because surely we've got plenty.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I'm sure there were other ones. It was like mostly like everyone gets dressed up in clothes that aren't for that time of year, especially when I was in Chicago, and it would have been like -12.
Oh, dude,
and
yeah.
You would like cram yourself on a train because it's busy, get out to some place that someone's done. It's like their apartment, and it looks like their apartment, but they've like put some gold stuff around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's supposed to be like. I think the problem with it is, unlike something like, I don't know, any other holiday where it's just supposed to be like pure, just fun. There's no like, there's no like parameters.
Yeah,
this
or
is
agenda.
supposed to be, this one is supposed to be like fancy for some reason.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think that's the mistake. Is we got to stop doing little black cocktail dress style New Year's Eve. I think that's the
makes
problem.
for a mess later on, guys. Just dress comfy.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be falling out on the ice, and you're going to scrape your little legs up and shit.
Yeah. It's a dangerous time to be out and about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know with global warming now. But
yeah,
back in the day, it was like, it was a rough time to be out and about.
And, it's easier for guys to dress for the occasion because we're going to wear
guys
pants
dress
and
like
a
shit.
sweater anyway.
So like girls dress like in these cute little outfits, and then instead of guys ever looking cute at all, they're just like, I got like a dress shirt with jeans that I didn't tuck in, and you're like, God, you look like shit. It would have been better for you to do nothing than whatever this is. And they never match the date, so it never
Nope. But what I'm saying
not
is,
saying I like to do that shit, but at the same time, like I do when I see a couple and you're like,
an agenda.
and they do that, and you're like, oh God, he's got like Todd's driving shoes on for some reason that his like dad got him for Christmas. He's got ugly jeans, and then just like the worst dress shirt you've ever seen, and then like a big fucking watch, and it's just like, what is like why do you think that looks good with what she has on?
It's just a different time, man. You know what I mean? When you're young like that too, at that period in time. Because also, like you said, in Chicago, or we would have New Year's in Cleveland, if you're at all in an urban situation and you've got some walking to do, whether you are walking to your apartment from where you were, or like you said, guys are going to be in pants and a coat, and they're going to be fully. Girls are not. And you're going to it's freezing. Like the amount of times that I or any of my friends had like fallen and eaten shit in the middle of winter, and then you're all fucking wet and scraped up and shit. Like it's just like, which is like, I also, it's so funny thinking back, you know what I mean? But like I would get all kinds of bruises and scrapes and cuts and shit when I'd be drinking from falling outside.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is what, I mean, I can just remember every party I went to was just like, like, like a guy with like a little hat on and like jeans on top and bottom and like a Cannibal Corpse tee, and then like the girl who matches him aesthetically normally but is in like a nice little outfit, and you're like, you couldn't have done one thing. One thing, and now she's cold, you're an asshole. I don't know. I mean, look, again, I agree that generally New Year's Eve for all these reasons is not great, but I also sort of miss the excitement that nothing was going to happen.
Yeah. No, like again, I dreaded drinking events because that was just unfortunately a situation I had put myself in where if people were drinking, I was going to have a bad time.
You should have just stayed straight edge.
Or
it would have been cooler.
The more appropriate decision would have to not had been in a relationship in college the way that I was. It was awful. But staying straight edge would have been cool. It's like our boy in town he's like, I'm sober. And I'm like, no, I never drank. I just don't say straight edge anymore. But he's still straight edge, which is interesting. So
guys that stay straight edge have such a specific, when you commit to a bit that far in advance, you have a specific look about you always. Like I can tell a straight edge dude from 100 miles away.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're easy to spot.
This is the other fellow local.
They've all got the same haircut. Is one of the things. They all go to their buddy's barber shop, so they all have the same.
They still got the tin of Murray's, the orange tin.
All right, let's see what's on. Well, wait, how was your Christmas? Do you have a nice Christmas?
Oh yeah, Christmas was great, man. Me and Michelle took it easy. Didn't do a bunch of gift exchange stuff kind of situation, you know what I mean?
Why?
More so just got things for the house together, and then a couple little ones and twos. Just didn't stress about it this year. And also, my birthday's a week and a half before. Her birthday's a week and a half after. So she got me a pair of shoes. I'm getting her something. I'm not going to say because she listens to this, but you know what I'm saying? So it was a low-stress Christmas where I think previously it's like, I got to get X, Y, Z and spend X amount of money because she's spending, and we just like kind of nullified that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still had fun getting things because I still got shit. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like a stressful thing. You know. That's about it, dude. We cooked up our traditional Swedish meatballs with mashed potatoes, and that's about it.
I told you your traditional Christmas IKEA dinner.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally an IKEA dinner. That's about it. But tell me about your guys' Christmas, because
it's nothing like thrilling. I mean, like you know, we always do Christmas Eve all together.
Yeah.
And
Then, so we did do that.
We, you know, it's all about Gia, you know, so it's fun, you know, because she's, you know, we have to prep the house, you know, so it looks as if Santa was there.
Yes.
And, you know, she's got a bunch of presents, and, you know, she's an only child.
Yeah,
and,
dude.
Abby and I don't buy each other anything because we've been married for 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just, we don't, you know, Abby got herself something because she said, "Can I get this for?" I said, "For Christmas." She was like, "Cool." And that was that.
Yeah, great.
And I'll just hold that key in my back pocket and maybe use it if I want something.
Remember when you got...
And then you know, Gia gets a billion presents from, you know, and then people send her stuff from elsewhere,
of course,
and so it was fun. You know, she got everything she wanted, and that was that.
Great.
We have to do a bunch of phone calls because obviously our families don't live here, so it's a lot of like FaceTime,
I'm sure,
present opening and stuff like that. And then we were gonna cook, but like we were kind of like I don't know why. I think that when things get like chaotic, for us, we just like triple down, if that makes sense. So like we started extensively doing spring cleaning in like November. So like
during the busiest
going
time
through.
of work too, though.
Well, it was busy at work, so I think we were coming home and had frantic energy anyway, and didn't know where to put it.
Yeah.
And it'd kind of been crazy since Halloween, just around the house. Like stuff kept getting moved, and then we'd bring Christmas stuff in because she liked to decorate for Christmas, and you know, we do all this stuff, and it just was it was kind of messy anyway. And I was like, we need to like go through things, because then, you know, we knew that she was getting a bunch of stuff, so like we need to like redo her room. So like redid her room, and then that we needed space for extra stuff, so we started redoing the outside like storage, and then that just like snowballed into this and then that, which is all good because then
You're clean.
Yeah. So I've been going through a lot of stuff, which takes forever because you have to get it all out, put it in the car, then it rides around in the car with you for a few days before you actually drop it off at Goodwill. It was just like that kind of stuff, and I had to build some furniture for so this kind of thing. You. So we didn't end up like, we'd kind of burnt out on Christmas, so we just kind of didn't do anything besides doing the present opening and all that shit. And then so we didn't even make dinner. We were kind of like, I'm not really hungry, and I don't know, she just can't not be doing toys for 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter what we give her.
I mean, she's probably got a mound of toys come 10 a.m. on Christmas Day.
Bro, all you do is you open the toys, you get rid of all the trash from the toys, and then you open all the toys, and you get rid of that trash from the toys, and then you reconfigure the recycling 18 different times.
Yep.
And then you put together all the toys, and then you play with the toys. Like that's the whole.
And then you put the toys away and get out the other toys.
So we didn't really do anything, and then we just like we made dinner the next night, like more, so we could just have like a chill version of that. And we did like I think I was telling you, like Allison Roman's roast beef situation is really like so good. You do like the anchovies and stuff on the outside.
Yeah, it rips. So good.
So we did that. That's pretty much it.
Dope.
Nothing too
dope. Do you guys have any
serious.
You watch any movies or anything on Christmas Day in particular?
No, and I haven't been to the movies, which sucks because I really plan to like
go to the movies on Christmas.
Yeah, which I generally like to do, but I was just burnt, man. So I just was like really not into it. And I just haven't been. I've been because I watched Sonic with Gia. That's something to give Abby a little bit of a break because we've all been in the house for a long time. But other than that, like I haven't been. So I still got to see Nosferatu. I got the Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah, I want to see Nosferatu.
I got Baby Girl. I haven't seen anything I want to see. So but I'll get to it all.
Yeah,
I've configured my Cinemark points and gift cards into a way where I think that I can get away if I play my cards just right and I still go to at least one movie a week, which I almost always do. I think I can go all year without paying for a movie.
That's so
based
sick.
on the rewards and the gift card and the things that are in there, and like if I play my cards just right.
Yeah, you're like a coupon lady.
I think the only problem is like when Gia goes or Abby goes and they need to use my thing.
Throws your shit up.
It throws me off.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like if I don't count those, I could go.
Yeah,
to,
if you just pay out of pocket for those.
Yeah, I think I could go to almost 52 movies playing off like points and stuff I've redeemed and gained and stuff like this, and my membership free tickets and stuff. So
you know what? When you put it like that, 52 movies, 52 weeks in a year. If you were to, like, you know, if we were to sit and I were to count to 52 starting at 1, that takes a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be really interesting to catalog them in order, and then on this day next year, look back and be like, do you remember seeing every one of them? Like 52 is a lot. You know what I mean?
I log them on Letterboxd. I'm not going to shout out my shit because I don't want anyone to follow. I just do it as like a way so I know what I've cataloged because I used to just keep it in my notes app. Generally, I kind of remember. Yeah. I mean, that stuff sticks with me. And listen, that sounds like a ton of movies, but it's. I really mean it. Like, especially lately, I don't watch TV. I tried to watch Squid Game, and I liked that when it came out. Yeah. I just don't care, dude. I don't know what it is with series lately, but like, I don't know if it's the pacing or just. I don't know. It's just not what I'm into right now.
You have been saying you haven't been watching TV.
So I just like the screen is not on unless like. I have like shows I'll put on while I'm like doing like chores and things.
Yeah.
In my headphones, like basically just to like pass the time.
Sure.
If I'm out of podcasts, you know, so maybe I guess you could count that, but I'm not even looking at the screen when it's on. It's more just there.
Yeah.
Like background sound, mostly to drown out football. Yeah. And
which, by the way, I'm going to give Abby her flowers. Abby, if you can hear me, Abby dominated and won our Dynasty League. I just want to show some love. That's one of my best friends. She came in and dominated as we predicted she would because she's good at games. And while it killed all of us to see her absolutely dominate, because it was as if she had more points than you thought the system allowed most weeks. You know what I mean? Like, just through just sheer luck. Like, not even downing her. Like, her players would have all of them would all uniformly have the games of their lives every week.
But listen, I think that all of you boys have to stop calling it luck. Here's what it is. You guys follow random ESPN shit.
Yeah,
She's on their wife's TikTok. She knows exactly what they did last weekend, bitch. She's like an investigative reporter.
Yeah, dude.
I've said a million times, I'm not joking at all when I say this. Abby could become a what is that called? Like a private detective?
Yeah.
100%. She can find out anything about anybody, and I'm not. And it's like she does it casually.
Yeah,
I know that's like a thing that people say about their like girlfriends or whatever.
Yeah.
Abby's not. It's not a joke, dude. Like she's got it fucking dialed. She knows exact. That's what I'm saying. She knows information about those players that you guys ain't getting.
Oh, 100%.
I'm telling you because she's deep dived on them in a different way.
Yeah. And for the record, I don't take in any media outside of the articles that Sleeper, which is the app that we use for Dynasty.
Huh?
Okay, hey, I'm happy to eat crow here. I read the little blurbs
Got him, boys.
after you know, I would say most the players in the league that are being shuffled around, traded, getting playing time on offense. They have little write-ups every week about, you know, so-and-so carried the ball for, 75 yards on 6 touches, whatever it is. And it gives you an update, like, if they're injured. So I do keep up on those. So I do read those little articles or blurbs. Or I watch the games. But I don't take in any other media because I also feel it muddies the waters. But you're right. Abby's on a different level. And we said she also learned how to play chess this last year and beat Bob and Al, who, take chess really seriously. So, she's just, good at games. She's good at figuring shit out. So Abby won the Dynasty League. So anyway, you have shows on to drown out football, if you want to get back to that thought.
Yeah, I don't know where I was. Oh, so anyway, I've had troubles with any other
shows.
So, so yes, if however many movies I've seen this year, maybe I would guess it's probably somewhere between 75 and 100. I would guess, probably in there. I can't tell you if I see it though. Like if you were to hey, have you seen this? Like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember things that happened. I mean, I remember character names and
sure.
that. And but then there's also ones that I'll rewatch a couple times because I'm oh, I don't think I got that. At first, or I just really liked it. So it does feel like a lot, but also if you imagine the amount of TV you've watched, just episodes of TV.
Oh, buddy, there was.
It's probably the same amount. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, more. I watched more TV than anybody that I know on.
First of all, yeah, but okay. So you asked me that question. You can never tell me plot lines because you fall asleep halfway through them, and then you don't know.
And I also
then you
just
miss
take in
things.
so much too.
Yeah.
I will say a couple notes. One, on Christmas, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 would be 1, 2.
Okay, nobody.
5
cares.
years ago, 2019, when Miss Shannon first moved here, her friend was dating this guy who was like a real country fella who had land in Kansas and was a corn farmer. But somehow they started dating. So I spent Christmas with this fella, right? And I was just drinking White Claw on an apartment floor watching TV. And we put on this movie on Christmas Day called El Camino Christmas. It has Tim Allen.
He's been trying to sell me on El Camino Christmas for like 3 weeks now.
It's my traditional show that we watch every year on Christmas. It has Tim Allen. It has Dax Shepard. It has Casey from Yellowstone. And it has a couple other people that I recognize them by face, but maybe not by name. Anyway, it's just like a bad Christmas movie.
What
we
would
watch
your
that
guess
every
be?
Christmas.
What would your guess be that what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score is on El Camino Christmas?
36%.
That's probably close. Let's look.
It's not a good movie. It's just I like it.
Camino Christmas. Probably not even gonna register. Oh my god, this looks worse than I. Vincent D'Onofrio is the director. Oh my god! Hold on, I didn't even. You know what? It does
Rotten
not.
Tomatoes 41%.
Well, that's the popcorn meter. That's just the people's rating. 250 plus people have rated this. Only 4 actual reviews on it.
Yeah.
Like legitimate ones. Interesting. This is so much different than I thought it was.
Wait, I know this dude, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, I thought he was the director. I see it now. That's why I was surprised. Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba's queen, though. You got to give her that. Queen. She rips, man. She's like, her net worth is absurd because all the different like home and kid shit she sells.
Damn.
Yeah, she's a boss. And the fucking dad from that movie
70s show.
Yeah, where all the actors turned into be monsters later on in life. Okay, I don't know where we're going.
Anyway, that's the show we watch, but that's the movie that we watch on Christmas, and we've watched it every year since. However, what I wanted to say was, in terms of shows, we've started a new show. One, we rewatched Severance. Again, an unmatched world. A truly unmatched world. Severance is so good. The first season of Severance is so good.
It's so good if you throw out the first 2 or 3 episodes because
it takes a little bit to get going. But dude, once you start to see you get what they're trying to get at.
I'm not. You know, I'm in agreement with you.
So I'm ready for the second season because they released the first 8 minutes.
I think I saw that was out, and I want to see that because I do like that show. But I need to like I said, I'm just not in. I'm not in the mode, dude.
We had to rewatch it because we watched the 8 minutes, but it made no sense.
See, I watched Severance recently, within the last 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty fresh for me.
Ugh.
But
I
tried to watch
world,
that Silo, which I ended up kind of liking.
First season
for what it was, and I started watching the second season. I'm like, I'm not fucking. I don't know what it is, dude.
Second
I'm not
season,
into TV right now.
Second season isn't gripping me, in my opinion, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, and I won't talk too long on Silo. But in my opinion, they dangled many interesting nuggets in the first season. Lots of things that I'm interested about. That second season, I like the Steve Zahn character. I think the character's funny. I think he does a good job with that character. There's a couple characters in the show that are like insufferable, and the writing is so cheesy and bad. But like they have all of these really interesting nuggets that they could expound upon. That is like lore within the world. Like without spoiling anything, there's like a door in the first season at the bottom of the silo, and they think they found a tunnel and like these kind of things. This interests me. I'm less interested in like the politics between the fucking characters, and like the old lady is like a bad actress, and like I can't stand looking at her on the screen. Like her character is so insufferable. And then there's a guy that I hate. It's just like they've taken all the cool and stripped it down to nothing cool.
Great set design.
Yeah.
Really great set design. And I forget her name, but the main actress is excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'd say the rest of it borders on cheesy sometimes. and acting is mid, and I think some of the casting is very strange.
But the story is so good. I love the world they built, and even in season 2, they do give you more nuggets of, quote unquote, like history of why they're in the silo, and you learn more about the world, not just the silo. You learn more about like the world they're all living in. And anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore because I don't want to spoil anything in case anybody is watching. But I really liked the show. I think season 2 sucks, kind of, for ways that it's like you took all the things that I thought were interesting and you've basically thrown them out the window. And it's like, and spinning their wheels on these couple things for the last 3 episodes that is nothing.
Yeah. This is gonna. I just feel like TV has not moved me in any way. This makes me sound pretentious, but I am. So this is what it is. It doesn't move me in any way at all. Like emotionally or mentally. I feel like lately it's just been like it feels too pure entertainment. Mm-hmm. Honestly, some of the movies in theaters right now is the only thing I'm bummed about. Is like, dude, just give me something that's gonna fucking body me emotionally. And like none of that. It's just not like everything's kind of entertaining right now because it's just the time of year. But I don't know. I'm excited to see The Brutalist. 3.5 hours with an intermission. It's not showing anywhere close, but I think I'm gonna go to Denver maybe next week.
Isn't it Adrian Brody?
Yeah,
he's cool.
It looks so good.
Give me a synopsis or what the loose.
From what I can tell from the one trailer I've watched, because I don't want to watch anymore because I'm worried it'll spoil it. Because I heard like what it was about and saw it was Adrian Brody, who has done some. I don't know if you've watched any of like his movies. My man could not get cast for a while, and I think that he's put up some of the best performances of all time. But he just like couldn't get cast for a while. A lot of the movies he's done lately are weird like army movies and shit. Like he just got like. I think he just needed to pay the bills, but he wasn't getting cast and shit. But I'll say if you watch him, because Abby will watch some of that stuff, and I'll see him, and I'm like, oh, Adrian Brody. And then he would like act the shit out of it, or make such a specific choice and go like method, while it was like just completely unnecessary for this role. And so I'm really excited for him to return because I think he's just such a great actor. It's about like, from what I can tell. He's a very famous architect in a different country, comes here because of a war or some sort of upheaval or coming back to see his cousin, or I can't really tell from the one trailer I've seen. And he becomes an architect here, and he's famous for these, brutalist architecture, which is very like big. And so they also, what was cool is they've used film that architects would use specifically to showcase things when they needed to like show visually, things, especially like
you're saying the actual film stock itself
from a long time ago, because it would force expose like not force it would give you a different force perspective thing so that you could see bigger things more completely.
I see. Sure.
So they filmed everything that way, so everything feels huge. You know what I mean? Everything feels like everything is dwarfed on purpose, which is a really cool choice. And it just looks very beautiful. And it's, 3.5 hours long with a real life intermission.
It's kind of cool.
Stop making the sale, baby. I'm in.
Yeah. you would go see it regardless. Yeah.
So it looks really good. So I'm excited to see that. And I still want to see, like, I'm sure Nosferatu is amazing.
Yeah, is Nosferatu black and white?
No, but I'm sure, knowing Eggers, it's, might as well be. The way he shoots things.
I'm really interested in seeing this.
Have you still not seen The Witch?
I've seen bits and pieces of The Witch for sure.
It's a wild movie to only see pieces and parts. It's not on HBO.
No, but it's been on streaming services for sure. But no, I know it because I can hear this big guy's voice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. I've definitely seen the beginning of the movie a handful of times. But I don't know that I've ever finished it, so I don't know.
Did you see The Northman?
Huh?
Did you see The Northman?
No, but you've talked about that.
Really good. Freaky.
No, I get The Witch and The Village mixed up, which I know they're not.
Yeah, those are different.
But I know they're different
movies.
Hey, I also wanted to say in regards to shows, we officially started What We Do in the Shadows last night.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
There were many, and we're only 2 or 3 episodes in.
I've never seen all of it all the way through. I've seen like many random episodes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
to give people listening a backstory, Timothy, you showed me 3 or 4 different clips recently that you've just like.
It started serving me the clips from the show, and so I've been seeing them. Then it was making me think about it. And I was like, oh, I need to show Chase these.
Yeah. So those clips, just those couple little hits, have resonated with me. So, and I love the movie. I think the movie is really funny. So we started it last night just when we went into bed. We're like, fuck it, let's just turn it on. We'll fall asleep. We got probably 2-3 episodes in, and it's really funny, dude. It's really funny. Nate from The Office is in it quite a bit, and you said he's a writer in it too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And the concept is he's like he sucks the emotion out of people or like energy out of people by just like talking at them. And then also the girl from I Think You Should Leave, I can't think of her name, who had that show I Love That For You that didn't get picked up that I watched a while ago. She's really funny in it. And yeah, I think conceptually the show really hits for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So I will report back. I have yet to see any of the clips that you show me.
But those are like later. As I was saying, you kind of have to get to the first season, but it's really good.
I'm loving it though. Yeah, it's good. So
yeah, Matthew Berry's so funny. Okay, what do we have any? I keep acting like we're getting back on track, and we haven't been on any sort of track.
How long have we been going for, bro?
We got to do our new thing. So we got another half an hour. We're good. We can do this. You got any resolutions? New Year's resolutions? You make those?
I don't.
You seem like the guy who's going to be like, those are made by Hallmark.
Yeah, you got me pinned. No.
Yeah, you're like a Midwest dad from the 90s.
That's bullshit. I don't. No, I don't know. I think that I generally this year was just going to plan to like continue to try to eat a little better.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say I'm going to wake up earlier and shit, because who knows if I don't, you know what I mean? Last year I said I was going to sew myself a hoodie, and I didn't sew myself a hoodie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I fucked around with the sewing machine quite a bit and hemmed some pants and made a pillow and fucked around with it, you know what I mean? And had fun with it, and we're working on a quilt. But I didn't sew a hoodie or anything. So no, I'm not a resolution guy. But I think there's a couple things that I could try, which would be, like you said, maybe just drinking regular water instead of seltzer water. Just like little things that are very doable.
See, I like to set like an intention, not so much like be specific.
Yeah, no, things. I think that's probably a more eloquent way of saying what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
be a little healthier?
Do you have any?
You got that?
Yeah, generally just being a little healthier. My body's not young
tweaks.
Anymore. Yeah.
Listen, how many years have I told you, start this shit now so you get in a good habit so you don't have to like it, because it's harder as you get older.
Yeah.
You know, like even in like your 20s, like, oh, I feel like shit. I'm going to work out for 1 week. And you're like, oh, cool. I shed 15 pounds. I look amazing. I'm back into it. It was no big deal.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh my God, like everything's fucking sore for no reason.
I will say, I was telling Michelle, I was like, God, I feel dumpy and shit. And I ate better for like 4 or 5 days. And I lost weight and didn't feel as dumpy. Like I can still shed it, but just generally trying to be healthier and less of a fucking ping pong. My body being less of a ping pong of highs, lows. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think you need
generally
overall,
healthier.
You need like
man.
a healthier routine.
Yeah.
Whatever
I'm back
that
to
means
sleeping
to
late
you.
and
You know what I mean? Like whether it's getting up early or whether it's a little exercise, little body movement, little eating better, like little.
Yeah.
But overall, the routine. I think if you start the routine, like focus on that as your intention of, I just want to have a better routine. That feels accomplishable, easily, and it doesn't need to happen all at once. And it doesn't. And if you slip on it, it doesn't need to be done. Like I think I think when people are like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm like, that's very specific, and that seems like that's fine if that's what great for you, But I think if you were just like, I just want to feel a little healthier, like that can mean a lot of different things.
Well,
mentally healthier,
you want to lose 20 pounds, you can lose 20 pounds in a week. That's no problem. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Just don't eat, and you'll meet that goal. But you're going to rubber band, and you're going to feel like shit, and your body's going to break down.
But that's true. That's the one problem that I think sometimes have is like that's you. Everyone's bodies are different. Like some people can starve themselves and they won't lose the weight like that. You know what I mean? You have to like do certain things, and I think that like you need to know what works for you and what doesn't, and that only comes by like doing things.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a tricky. I think that like I know that like when I'm in a healthy routine of exercise, body movement of some kind, being outside regularly, at least a few times a week, like spending a good amount of time outside and doing something with your free time that's not turning off your brain. I think if you can do those 3 things as a routine, like when I'm in that routine, I'm good. I feel mentally better. I feel physically better. And I don't have any problem now getting that routine back. Like I'm a little off because, Gia's in and out of school, all the holidays.
The holiday shit's crazy
basically
for us.
for us since we got back from, we did Japan and then ever since like October, really, I feel a little.
I completely agree.
Like my routine's all dicked, which I think is a problem. So that's not a problem because I crave the routine. So I'll get back into that, no problem. I want to be like mentally healthier this year. Like, and I just mean by like not being stressed out about things that don't need to be stressed out about, like being better about that kind of thing. Like not letting things that like happen every single year, like it's a known quantity, like letting those bother me so much.
What's the point? It's fruitless.
Yeah. Trying to have a little bit more fun when I do have free time and not being so like, well, I have to do X, Y, and Z because otherwise, by the time I get back to this, it's like, being a little bit more present and in the moment, like just that kind of like.
I'm with you. With you. I think that's really good, and I think also by doing something, I don't want to say like open ended, but like with less specificity, it allows you to do it while being like a little more reasonable with yourself. You know what I mean? Like if you say like the 20 pounds thing and a month goes by or 2 months go by and you haven't hit that mark, it's like really discouraging. Whereas if you were just like, I just want to generally do things that are better for me and hopefully losing weight is a byproduct of that or feeling better is a byproduct of that, I feel it feels a little more accomplishable because you're not weighing yourself every morning. You're not checking yourself at every corner.
For me, this is kind of like it's a stupid analogy, but it's kind of like the reason I think that like the incense thing is cool. If you get into it and you start being like, I'm doing this as like an intention, like I'm going to look, do I believe in like cleansing the house of like whatever or energy or whatever? I don't fucking know. Maybe, you know what I mean? But like, it's irrelevant to me. It's the act of like, that's what you're doing, whether you believe in it or not. It doesn't matter. It's that I'm going to do something because I'm going to try to change the vibe in a space. You know what I mean? So I'm going to light the thing. I'm going to get it ready. I'm going to walk around the house. I'm going to notice things in the house. If you're like present and like a little bit more meditative on everything you do, it's the same thing for me where I wonder if that's why I've had troubles with TV shows and even starting to be like, I was telling Abby in the car today, I was like, I feel like this year I want to read more books in my own way. I need to come to them on my own everything. And but like just because it's even slower than like the slow movies I watch, you know what I mean? And like I think it's even been like starting to go to the movies instead of just watching them at home or being like, I'll just wait till it comes out at home. And I'm like, no, I'll force myself to go see it because that's a full experience. The experience is getting ready, leaving the house at night, which as you get older, you just don't do as often, you know? Yeah. And having like a personal experience and, just enjoying that whole thing makes the whole experience feel so much more intentional. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of like, I'm just doing like art it's for fun. It's purely for fun. I have no intention. I just do it. I do a handful of things. I put them in a pile. And then I was looking at the other day and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like there's no goal here. I'm not trying to get better at anything necessarily. So I have no burden of expectation at all. Yeah. It's just the act of doing because it feels mentally like I'm reorganizing things while I'm doing this, but it also gives you a task. So it kind of keeps you I'm motivated to do it for no reason.
Great. That's awesome, dude.
Hanging it up. I'm not doing anything with it. It's just sort of the act of doing is all it is. Yeah. And I want to get more kind of that way about everything I do to the best of my ability. So it's like trying to be a little bit more present in the moment with stupid mundane things you do. That's really changed stuff for me. Same thing with cooking. It's like I don't want to cook all the time. I want to cook when I have the time to like spread
really
out,
think
about it, try to do it the best of my abilities that day, or like it's something to look forward to because I researched it and how do you do this and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it.
I think that's been really good for me mentally. And it's the same, but that can be applied across anything. So I think if you stop worrying about like losing 20 pounds or gaining muscle or whatever the fuck it is that you want to do, and just notice that like, man, I feel stronger and that makes me feel good about myself, or I feel more relaxed, which I think that a lot of like exercise is really more important than you realize. It's like, it helps your body, like it tires your body out, which is, I think, evolutionary, like what your body wants to do. You know what I mean? It wants to do stuff. And then, so it feels good on that front. Or like the sauna feels good because I have to go in there without stuff on. Can't have my phone or anything. And it just causes me to just think for a little while and get some junk out of me. You know what I mean? Like if you're just more like in tune with like how things make you feel as opposed to what the result will ultimately be, I think that's the move. Like I that's at least what I'm trying to do, is just try to like be more hyper focused on.
Yeah, no, I could dig that.
Yeah,
I could dig that. When you're out and about, do you feel like, gotta get this task done so I can be home faster?
Trying to fix that actively.
Yeah,
because that's the problem. But I'm anxious before I've even left. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I've also tried to start, like, this is a big one for me. I wonder if and this is, a big thing with people with like ADHD and attention issues and, hyperactivity, things like that, all that stuff that goes along. I'm just kind of spelling out the thing now, but I will do nothing. Like if I'm home alone, like for whatever, I have the whole day, I can do whatever I want. Nobody influencing me. I will stall out. Because I can't decide what to do. I can't decide what I should do first and what's the best order so I can accomplish.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm trying to shed that layer pretty hard of like, just do one thing. Just do anything. Just start doing it. And then it's kind of like I think if you spend all your time on Netflix trying to figure something out, it's like just pull the trigger and then bail if it's not for you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just bail. Who cares? You know what I mean? Or you might end up watching something you didn't expect to see.
100%.
And that's what I'm trying to do more in just like life, of just don't stand over the putt. It doesn't matter. There is no perfect version of this. There is no, if I do this errand and I go at this time and I do this thing.
Yeah.
All of it's just a different experience. You know what I mean? No matter which one you choose, it's irrelevant. You're not going to do it in some perfect order.
Agree.
And I've tried to like also, what I'm also trying to do, this is harder for me, balance out like energy levels. Do you know what I mean? Of like, I just know I don't have the energy right now to do that. So I'm not going to be fun. It's going to force it. So I just have to go, no, I'm not going to be the person that I need to be to do that thing. So I won't do it. And then also, but also at the same time, not just saying no to things and be like, well, I never have the energy. Because that you should think about that and go, why don't I have? You know what I mean, that's its own problem. So just being like more in tune with myself and emotions and all that stuff, I think is like my overarching, like that's what I want to focus on.
That's great.
Year. Yeah,
that's great.
It's easy because it's like there's no slipping on that. You're gonna slip, like that's the part of it, and I don't have any goal with it. There's no goal. It's just to feel a little bit better.
Great,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so I think those are mine. What about this though? What about like clothing? What did I just say? Resolutions. I'm still on my swag of trying to be a lake house German Shepherd.
Yeah.
You know what? This was mine when I was looking at my clothes the other day, because I'm getting like close to, because we've been cleaning stuff out too, and I need to shrink wrap a bunch more tees. But I've even started to like, I've been like, I gotta chill. Yeah. I mean, it's only the good ones now, so it's only like 20 a year rather than. Yeah. So I need to do that, but I'm looking at my closet and I'm like, I have one pair of boots and 5 pairs of basically canvas shoes, different versions in my color palette. Yeah. I'll wear any of those whenever I want. I like everything I'm looking at, Yeah. And I'll just replace them as I need to. And I don't care if they're the same thing. I just know that I want it to be that material and these colors. And then same thing with my closet. I'm like, I can really easily look right now and I'm like, it's like 4 or 5 things here that need to go eventually. I might still like to wear them now and that's fine, but I want them to eventually go because they're not in the color palette or fabric that I want. And there's even been like, well, I love that piece, but it's green, and that's not exactly the color palette that I've been building. I need to replace that with the same type of thing, but in the color that works, because I love that style. Mm-hmm. But I don't need to do that now. There's no...
Just do it when you get there.
When I find the piece, I'll find the piece and easy swap, and there we go. Yeah. And then it's like nice because the burden of there's no pressure on it now. It's just like, oh, if I see something that like would replace that perfectly, that'll be the thing.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? And now if I see like a blazer or whatever the fuck it is, there's some jacket that I love, but it's not in my color palette, which is still pretty open. Mm-hmm. Off-white, tan, brown,
black,
charcoal,
grays,
or black.
Yeah.
If it's not in that category, it doesn't work in my thing.
Yeah.
So now when I see stuff, if I love it, I can just go, I love that so much. Somebody's going to buy that. It's great, but like, it's not going to work for this. So I can immediately go, not for me. Or that way it's the same thing. It's like when I bought the linen blazer in Japan, I've been looking for it. Yeah. So as soon as I have it, I just, boom, there it is. You know what I mean? Like I got to buy it. That's the right thing. I see what you mean.
You don't have to do the fuck around because you know that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. So now I have it in like this perfect place where it's like I can still collect and add and swap out, but I can know that once I get it into this ideal state, all of those things work together. And I'm really, really, really trying to focus on less like, because I think the problem for me right now, and it's just my own line of thinking, if it'll be like, well, I only wear these things, but like, let's say I pull that green jacket. It's like, well, then if I pull that, I can't wear it with these things, and I can't do, you know what I mean? I want it to be any items I pull technically would work together in different ways.
Yeah.
So that I stop thinking about it at all, and I only just put random things on. Because like we talked about, because the one thing that really rung, like of all the conversations we've had, the conversation with Jonah of the outfit you grab when you're truly not considering what other people might perceive you as or what yourself, you're literally just putting on things because, well, I'm cold and I want to have a layer and I want to have pockets and I want to have this before I run out of the house.
Yeah, because he would say he would drive his partner to the bus stop or something.
Yeah, whatever it was.
For work or something like that. And he's like, I just had to put shit on to get outside.
Yeah.
And
that I think is the key. Because I noticed that my weekend outfits, they're getting good because they're weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just whatever it is you want to wear.
Yeah. And now it's like, now I'm adding this other layer of like, well, if I do a painting or something, I don't want to have to worry about what I have on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm only wearing this one pair of jeans, and that's the jeans that I wear at home because they're comfortable. And if I get stuff on them, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I like to have a sweatshirt on at home because it's cold. So I have this one that's like, that's the one there, and it's got weird proportions, and it's like,
Sick. Yeah,
it's like
I know what
all
you're talking about.
working.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the full spectrum to be that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of just
I
like
completely understand.
anything could go with anything at any given time, and I don't have to think about the matching or like what brands go with what or anything that. It's just like that. Plus, I already have figured out what I'm going to be purchasing come springtime from us.
Yeah, tell me, because I have a couple things as well.
I cannot tell you the brand because it's it'll be a surprise.
But
it was
for me?
Huh?
Not for me, though.
Not for you.
Okay,
No,
I was going to
not
say,
for
wait,
you.
is there something? Yeah.
But it'll be here in March.
Yep.
And I've loved this brand for a long time. I need the black suit, brown suit. I can mix and match them. They are the perfect fabric. Don't worry about it. Don't, because you've given away every goddamn other thing we've ever done. So don't you start doing the look like a dog. But there's like a black suit and a brown suit, but they're very casual.
Yeah.
I can mix and match them. That's all I want.
Easy. Yeah.
Because once I have those things, that goes with everything else in my closet.
Yeah.
They're the perfect fabric. It's the fabric I've been looking for.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Great. Then you're good.
Yeah. So it's
I need
just
to
that,
try on
canvas
suits for that.
shoes. I'm good to go.
Birkenstocks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to work those back in.
Yeah, great. I have a pair under my desk right now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I think as soon as I can unlock that, I think the real key I'm really realizing as I get older, it's like the less you're thinking about it, the cooler and weirder the shit's going to get.
I completely agree.
You know what I mean?
I completely agree. I was just thinking as you were saying this, I was thinking, you know what, tomorrow with the first of the year, I might do another closet clean out. It's getting pretty stuffed in there. And there's just some shit that I'm not wearing that I would be happy to either sell at a very cheap price or give away to the boys here.
What are you trying to do though? What is your...
For me, it's pretty simple. There's things in my closet that don't get a lot of wear, and it makes me feel anxious to have shit in there that I'm not wearing. So, and what I do is this weird thing where like, maybe it's a pair of pants. I'm like, oh, I haven't worn this in a long time. I'm going to wear them today. And I'll decide I have to wear them, and I'll get here and feel fucking uncomfortable in them all day. You know what I mean? Because
But is that just because you don't wear it that often? Because I think sometimes like I'll feel uncomfortable. Look, here's a big declarative statement.
If I'm not wearing it, it's because it doesn't feel good on my body. That's the honest to God truth. Is because
but
for how I'm
agree?
feeling in that moment.
This is the statement I want to make. I think that no clothes look good the first time you wear them.
Oh, 100%.
They don't look good. They don't feel good. And I don't think there's anything that I've ever purchased and felt that way. They're only good after like the fifth wear.
Yeah, agreed.
Or more.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I've decided like I really love something after like I've had it forever and been like, man, I don't know what it is, but this is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely
agree.
agree.
I wonder sometimes if it's like, has it just not been worked in enough to like have
clicked? No, here's the thing. I can give you a couple of examples. One, I bought that North Face Purple Label striped shirt, and I said probably 30, 40, 50 pod episodes ago, I'm not sure that this is going to be my thing. It feels a little snug, but I really like it, and I want to make it work. I've tried to put that on. The last time I wore it, in fact, I remember, was when me and Miss Shannon, Abby, and Gia, and our friends, I don't want to dox them. We went to the Peach Festival. If you remember, we all went to the Peach Festival in Lafayette. And it was it was like 125 degrees that day, and it was on the fucking street. And by the time we all left, Abby literally looked like she got out of the sauna. We were all so cooked and done that we didn't even really say bye. We got to the point where everybody, all right, well, we'll see you guys. And we just not a Midwestern goodbye at all, because I'll hover around and chit chat, and same with the other person, the people we were with. And so anyway, the last time I've worn it, that was 6 months ago, and I've tried multiple times to wear it since. It's not going to work, so I'm selling it. I have it with me. I'll put it up on the Discord this afternoon. You know what I mean? And I haven't worn that because I don't feel physically good in it. And I'm not sure what I can do to feel physically good in it besides lose a bunch of weight. But like, I'm not really trying to lose a bunch of weight. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just the way that is just like, it's just like a smidge too snug in the shoulders and the chest, and the sleeves are a little short. It's just like, just a size small on me. You know what I mean? And I just think there's other things in my closet that are like that I've been holding on to. So if anything, paring it down even further so that I have the freedom to buy things I really love. That being said, things that I know I'm going to buy from us, I just looked through the Nanamika buy yesterday when you sent me over this stuff. I wanted when we went.
Have we said that Nanamika's coming back?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Nanamika's coming back if we haven't. But we definitely did, because I remember being like, fuck it. It's
we did.
Cat's out of the bag.
Another one.
But they have a bunch of cotton crew neck sweatshirts and button-ups, plain color button-ups and sweatshirts that the blue one that they do.
I'd say this much, and I don't think you're going to like this statement about yourself, but I think it's true because it's so antithetical to what you put out there. You have quite a few statement pieces.
Yeah, I do.
You have a lot of statement pieces for a guy who would claim to not have. I have 0 statement pieces.
Mine are.
What are my statement pieces?
I'm wearing my Boro right now and my Coddle jacket I wore yesterday. That's it.
I'm not thinking of all of them, but you had that EG jacket that's got the like floral shit on it forever, like the Batik one or whatever it was. It's like blue,
the loiter that was like tonal.
But
yeah.
I'm saying is like,
no,
you'll wear
splashy,
for a guy who says he doesn't do all this stuff. You've got a lot of statement pieces.
Well, the things that I'm looking to purchase now are the plains. I don't need any more statement pieces. The plains. So
this is
plain colored crew necks, and I'm pretty sure we have a gray and a navy. I'm just gonna shell out for them. Gray and navy, great. I want that solid Oxford blue, Oxford style button-up shirt, the wind shirt they call it. You know what I mean? Because I know that it's gonna be roomy enough because that's the way Nanamika and shit is cut. That will go great underneath this jacket, underneath my gray sweater. I'm also gonna buy from them. You know what I mean? So in terms of purchases, nothing crazy. I don't have anything in mind. Paring down to have more intentional things. I'd like to have another Coddle piece or something, or another Visvim piece. You know what I mean? But like, even my splash pieces, maybe monetarily, look outside of this. Look like my Visvim jacket. It's just a jacket. It's just a denim jacket, but I like it because it fits big. That was the thing for me. Is that it fits nice and big. So I don't know, man. Reorganizing my life and trying to pare it down a little bit. Maybe a little bit of spring cleaning will allow me to think more clearly. My office right now is kind of fucking dicked up. It's got shit. You know what I mean? All my treasures are piling up.
You got
my artifacts I've been collecting.
Little mermaid ass.
Wally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that maybe you're due for a winter cleaning like we're doing. Just kind of a reset.
Yeah.
I want to uncomplicate every aspect of my life.
Yep.
I want to have very little. I want to have next to nothing.
Yep.
I want to just be able to see everything at once. I want to be able to like digest things very easily because there's not much of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I don't know. I want to be very slow.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one of the things that's clutter makes me anxious. If I could be even more specific, which I know that's obvious because you know me. This morning I took everything off my desk to wipe it down because I couldn't fucking even clear my inbox with how shitty my desk was because of these glistening ass hands. But clutter makes me anxious. That would be it. When my closet is cluttered, there's shit stuffed in there and I know I haven't worn some of it. What's the point? I don't need it. I like the things that I wear, and I reach for them regularly, and I've loved every single day that I've worn this hoodie. Every single day, I love it. I think the color is perfect. I like that the cuffs are getting fucked up. I like how it fits. I like how it feels on my body. It brings me a lot of joy, and I have plenty of hoodies that are folded way up in the corner of my closet that I don't give a shit about at all. And so it's just clutter. It's just more shit for me to have to parse through. And Michelle and I were just talking. We got some gift cards for Christmas, and I think what we're going to do is do an audit. We'll probably do this tomorrow, just kicking around. You know what I mean? an audit of our tools. I know I have one full Craftsman set of socket wrenches. Clean, mint. I've used it, but everything is back in the slot where it goes. I cannot say the same about anything else in the tool kit that we have. So what we're going to do is do an audit, throw most of it away, donate it, whatever, and just start fresh. And that's what I want to do, is to have a set of tools and have it be fucking clean. You know what I mean? And
I notoriously just threw away a toolkit one not that long ago. Got in a little trouble for that one.
Well, so be it.
It was just like, none of this stuff makes sense.
Well,
I don't know what it's for. I don't need it. So I just literally just put it in the... I'm like, I'm done with this.
So be it. We got shit here, and if you need tools, I'll have tools. But the thing is like, bro, let's say, for instance, I needed to... We got these big ass garden pots, big pots though. Like you could put like a fruit tree in them and they sit on your patio kind of pot, big ass pot. But they didn't have enough drainage holes.
I know everything. I know all those references.
Yeah, a big pot though, big old cock sea sucker.
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, I needed to find. I'm not even sure what the term is for this. The attachment on the drill that has the circle on the end. You still laughing?
Well, we were talking about it recently. You saying that about things, and I was in defense of you saying you're the only person who doesn't use that. The wrong way is to use it negatively.
Yeah, I'm saying
you don't use it negatively.
No.
You use it positively, which I think is
big old sea sucker.
Which I think is funny.
Yeah,
like in those cases, you're like that. Not you.
No, I'm using it in a positive way. I'm sending praise.
I had the biggest sandwich. It was all big. It's like that's like it's an interesting. You've taken back the term.
I've been using the term regularly since 2011 when me and my buddies watched Trailer Park Boys in the dorms, and Bubbles holds up a cat. He says,
I'm not sure this was the reference to keep
you
just undid everything I did.
No, but I found this sea sucker in the storm drain. And so we just thought it was funny to refer to things as sea suckers. But I do. I send praise when I'm saying it. But anyway, back to the big old pot that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. I needed to drill a bunch of holes in the pot. So what I have to do is get on a ladder to get up a little stool to get all this shit down. I get all my tools down, put them out on the table, and I just parse through what attaches and what doesn't. You know what I mean? And like, that's so stupid. And like, that undoubtedly, that clutter stays in my brain. Do you know what I mean? And I can feel it right now.
This is what I've been trying to explain to Abby specifically, just because that's my partner, but like to everyone, is that's how I feel too. Yeah. When I can't mentally go, I know exactly where that is, blah, blah, blah. It makes me feel crazy. Yeah. I can inventory everything in my head that I personally own. Yeah. I don't like having boxes that I'm not sure what's in there. Yeah. I know where all my stuff is. I don't know what that is. That does something for me to just know that it's the same thing. Like, I don't want to store things under the bed. I don't want there to be stuff under there. Mm-hmm. I just want it to be nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I just got to get rid of that stuff.
I completely agree. And I'm a little like Abby. I'm a lot like Abby in a lot of ways, but you and I are also very similar. But Abby has a little bit of, we talked about it, out of sight, out of mind. And I'm trying to be better about that, because then when I get to the out of sight portion of things, it's all I can think about is because there's so much shit and I can't stuff anymore. I have this chest, a trunk. Imagine back in the old days, if you were going to travel in 1870 or something, right?
Going through Ellis Island.
You're going to travel from Chicago to fucking Cleveland, and you got to travel with all of your family's wares and jewels and shit.
You put it on top of your...
It's a wooden chest, bro. Half it would hardly fit on this table, and it's from my Finnish relatives, and it's old. And in fact, I think it has old signage from Chicago, and I would guess to the early 1900s or something. I don't know, but anyway, that is my out of sight, out of mind, and I have my belongings there. I have like shit from my childhood that I put in there, photos of my family and stuff. That is going to be that's where things can go, but it needs to be organized. But if it doesn't fit in there, then I need to just get rid of it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I think the more we have this conversation, I'm going to do a spring cleaning tomorrow.
I think you gotta start putting in your head that, like, again, think about the way it makes you feel. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make you feel good to know that you have a bunch of clutter.
No, you know what I mean? Like,
that makes you feel bad. Even when you think about it, it makes you feel bad. So I don't want anything to be like that. I think all the time, like, because I think clutter is misused too. We have a friend, I won't say her name. She had the most beautiful apartment that I've ever been in. I loved her apartment. I would buy it today, exactly as it was, as I remember it. And it was because she was so she worked for Crate and Barrel. She's does this for a living.
Do I know this person?
I think so. Yeah, kind of. Everything would be so pretty, and it all felt truly special and taken care of.
Yeah.
But it was also busy in a lot of areas. You know what I mean? But it also felt so clean, and like there was no clutter. It was it was all special items. Like our place is a little like
I was gonna say, it feels like you're describing your place. I love your house,
and it's like that's what I love. But I love when it's like all these are legitimate things that you care about, not just stuff, not just stuff in a place. You know? So I it's like that's the balance I'm always trying to play off of, where it doesn't feel like this is just stuff for stuff's sake.
But you like to have the stuff you care about.
But I like the warmness that happens when because I hate minimalism, dude. I hate it.
Every time I come over to your guys' house, I said it last time we were just there for whatever we were doing, gingerbread houses. I was sitting on the couch going like, God damn, guys, it's good in here. It's just cozy. It feels cozy. I think you had the fireplace on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just like good. It's just like a good feeling in there.
Well, first of all, a lot of that's just lighting. And then the other thing is I don't like minimalism. So there's a lot of like everything has things, and like the furniture we choose is very like heavy.
You've got your incense setups around the house, and they all got a stick ready to roll. You know, I think that's fun and cute. So.
I don't know how we got to where we're at right now.
Yeah, buying stuff. I don't know, man. I'm gonna buy some on Mika when it comes in, and probably whatever else we get.
It is funny. It is funny that you brought up the because I was looking at some like fashion roundup stuff. Also like where the fuck are we going for fashion news anymore, dude? Like I don't know what's going on, but like
you're talking to the wrong guy,
dude. You should be better about that. If that I'd like you to be better about that.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I will say right now, like I ain't going to like none of the online blogs that still exist, which there's like a couple. It's just like High Snob and fucking Hype Beast and all that junk, and it's junk because it's allowed itself to become an ad. It's one giant ad.
It is just one pay for to have it here thing,
and it just feels like shoe, shirt, brand, shoe, shirt, brand, celebrity, and it's just like it's so like
Nike.
Oh god, it's
Nike,
nothing. Yeah.
Nike,
Adidas, Nike, and it's just like who cares, because also that stuff's become so irrelevant. It has absolutely zero point of view. There is no point of view. That's what I mean. That's why it feels like an ad. Yeah. There's no point of view, and the major institutions at this point, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all this shit, it also doesn't have a real point of view, and for every one writer that they have that has a good point of view, they aren't writing enough. That's why it was like almost refreshing to see like the Noah Johnson stuff that we all thought was so funny. We only thought it was funny because it felt like stuff that we were actually all talking about inside of Discord and shit, and having those conversations. So for someone to take a strong stand, it's like, God, how refreshing did that feel, honestly, because it made you talk about it, which is what the writing is supposed to do. You know what I mean? That's the reason it exists, so that you can go, oh, what the fuck? I don't agree with that. Or like, oh, I love that point. Like, this is a hard opinion and I fully agree. Like, that's the point of it. And anymore, like, it's just like 15 bags from $100 to $1,500, and it's just like, oh my god, dude, they're just ads. They're shopping. It's so boring.
Well, here's the thing. This
I don't know where to go though.
Who's got you the wrong way? But in my opinion, something that would be good that could happen is this year everybody is more intentional within their communities, whether that's the people that are physically around them or part of the Discord they're in. I'm not even saying just Canoe Club Discord. We're not the only Discord of this nature of people who buy clothes and shit in this niche. There's different groups, you know what I mean, of different styles of people, and they found these niches. I think that's where the conversations are happening. I think that's where people with actually interesting opinions that are sharing them, and they're not getting paid to do so. Yeah. They're actual consumers.
I don't disagree.
And they don't work
but they
in
also
fashion.
don't have a platform.
No.
So there's not some place where like you're seeing it and then everyone discusses it. Like it doesn't
unless you're
down.
In those communities.
And I
think that's good.
Did we over democratize this stuff?
Well,
does that make sense? Like because I do sort of like I liked like even if what was funny about those No Johnson articles was that it started to be like, well, everyone hates the teacher kind of shit, and like that's how you can all bond, because it's like we don't agree with blah blah, and you can all rip it apart in all these different ways, and then there's gonna be one person who's like, I actually agree with what they say, and then they're gonna defend. Like that's what I mean. It like if one person isn't making some declarative statement where they get to do that and then walk away from it, it doesn't allow everyone else to chat. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean? And
think-
disagree and agree, and you know what I mean, and all that shit. And I
I
just
think
wonder,
that's why everybody resonated with it, though, is because it's actually relevant.
Yeah.
It's how
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are
fair. Yeah.
actually dressing. Like, whereas, and this, I don't want this to turn into a Chase diatribe where he talks about how an exchange of money ruins everything, because I think that it ruined something in my life that I really love, which was sign painting, and the act of being creative became tied to making money in the 48 hours I wasn't here, and it ruined it for me. So that's to qualify my stance on this and say where I might be out of touch, or this might just be a knee-jerk reaction from how I feel personally. But like you said, everything is just an ad. Everything is pay to play. I think Noah Johnson wrote that shit because he actually has an opinion on chore coats, because he fucking was into skateboarding, where like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how many Jeff Rowley would, backside flip down a 9-set in a baggy ass jean jacket or something. You know what I mean? Like, so he had that actually, relate to his life.
yeah,
Whereas I'd argue most of other content that you're talking about, Wall Street Journal, GQ, what have you, it's all because a company paid them or levied for them to have an opinion, or they have, if I'm not saying this eloquently enough, you know what I'm trying to communicate, though, where he had an actual opinion that felt true to him because people actually are addressing that way, and because he's in the mix enough to know how people of this niche or of this age or time period are dressing. But like, you go over to GQ or you read an article on Hypebeast, it's like, who even fucking is buying Nikes or shit anymore, dude? It's just because they're paying for the space to be there.
and I think there was a time when that it was almost like Hypebeast or something needed to be there because there were so many drops and this was so important to people that it was more just giving them news.
Sure.
This drops here and this is where it's at. And that was such a thing that people wanted.
Because people were going to consume that anyway. They just needed
and
the
it was
information.
hard. It was hard to know who had what when.
Sure.
And, it was just hard to see that. You know what I mean? So it was like a necessary thing that existed. And I think that at least this is how I feel. I don't know if others feel this way, but it's like I'm craving that opinion-based shit again, especially when it revolves, which I think you touched on the right thing. He was talking about very real-world stuff. Hoodies, Vans, fucking chore coats. These are things that most people wear.
He's not talking about a triple wefted, linen blend, double-breasted blazer with,
it's irrelevant.
with oyster pearl buttons.
Yeah,
like, nobody fucking cares because nobody wears that shit.
Yeah, but in that conversation, Carhartt exists and Orly exists.
Great.
Back to back, and you can decide how you get there. But the guy who's never purchased anything beyond a Carhartt and the guy who only would ever buy an Orly, those are both people that can be in that conversation.
Yeah.
So it's like neutralizes and allows it to be more, it's inviting more and more opinions on something that feels very real, where it's like, listen, do I think it's like interesting to look on like Vogue and read about something Miu Miu's doing? I think they're just on top of mind because they basically made a work jacket recently that's $3,000. But I want it, but it's also insane. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that like, I don't know. It's just, that's what I'm talking, like having that conversation is what I'm talking about, where it's not about just, let me point at this crazy brand that's doing this crazy shit that like most people can't afford and don't want anything to do with. And like,
and you wouldn't wear to go buy groceries in anyway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's all for like,
it feels like it was
internet attention.
GQ and a lot of those started to get to the point where it felt like, oh man, this is really for the 1%. And listen, I understand what we sell and what we do. It certainly caters to a little bit more of that than, not. But at the same time, like, I mean, this is going to get into a whole other thing because I'm not going to justify the whole, like, it drives me crazy when, someone had left a stupid YouTube comment recently. Normally I don't think anything of those things, but maybe it was Instagram. I don't know what it was. It doesn't matter. Something along the lines of, this is just a bunch of expensive bullshit and blah blah blah, and you're hawking this. It's just about it being. And it's like, motherfucker, if I'm sitting behind an oil painting which probably cost me $300 in total things to make, and then X amount of time. So even if I'm really calculating how much that took me, we're still talking about like $1,000, and it's selling for $50.
Yeah,
and that doesn't bother anybody. But when some, like Coddle, some team, small ass team who's doing everything by hand, it's painstakingly, excruciatingly slow and detailed, and nobody needs it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's art, and that's why it's important and part of the conversation. Why that people still have that? Why people think that clothing is for everyone participates inside of it, and that's what I guess I'm getting at with wanting this type of like conversation. It's a little bit like what why can't I think of his name? Glenn O'Brien used to do, where it was like, yes, does he have all the information? Sure. But he would also spend a lot of time being like, yes, do I hang out with fucking Andy Warhol and shit and know all this crazy stuff and everything that's going on? Yes, but it was like because he hung out with like artists and cool people and stuff, he had all this information, but he also understood what fashion was at this like high end sophisticated level and the super low like grungy street level.
Yeah.
And all of it had a place. So the conversation would be like, I want to wear a blazer, but have it be, but I feel too stuffy in it or whatever. And he'd be like, here's all the information I can pull from to give you advice on that or whatever. And I can pull from a bunch of information. And that feels like that conversation is now for somebody who's like, oh shit, I could go buy a vintage blazer and make that work. And it was also for people who were like, I work in an office, and it touched on just so many different levels. And that's what I guess I'm missing. And that's why I think those Noah Johnson articles were interesting, is that anybody's style could participate in that argument, in that conversation. Mm-hmm. And all it took was somebody going, I'm going to put my toes across the line and make a declarative statement. And it's going to drive people just nuts enough to have a conversation about it, whether they agree or don't agree. And I wish there was more of that, because I just don't know. I guess when I was thinking about that today, I'm like, there's nowhere to go to get that. Maybe inside of Discords, but it doesn't feel like you're getting that everybody hates the teacher thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like somebody has to be the guy who's going to love it or hate him.
Yeah, the villain.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's so much tiptoeing around all that shit, where it's like that it would be fun if there was a little bit more of that type of writing going on.
Yeah.
To where it's just fun to have the conversation.
Didn't he leave GQ?
He's going to Hisnabadi. Huh. I'd love to know what the plan is. Like if there is some plan towards like more of this type of thing, or if he was doing those as a, middle finger on his way out. I don't know. Yeah. But because they are, I think people want to call those clickbaity, but I don't think that's clickbaity, because there's nothing. It's still for a very specific group. It's for conversation. Mm-hmm. That's the point. It invites conversation, which I love. I don't know. I just miss that a lot. It doesn't feel like there's anywhere to go. Vogue doesn't have an opinion. GQ doesn't have a real opinion. I don't know, who's got the opinion, dude? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're right. The opinion is what people are looking for,
and
not what's being sold to them, because the company volleyed for that space in the or an ad or that article or
it's like it's tough, because it's like I hear what you're saying when it's like, yeah, but like you can go on like a Discord or whatever the fuck and you have those conversations, but at the same time it's like Joe Schmo in Idaho, like if he goes hoodies suck, you're like, okay, guy, you know what I mean? Like,
but do you care about if somebody else in a,
because there's pedigree? Yeah, 100%. Because there's pedigree, and what I mean by that is not they went to school for it or whatever. They have a voice in an audience and something to potentially lose. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you step over the line too much, you might not have a job anymore. So there's some stakes.
But there's no stakes for Joe Schmo from Idaho. You just like the conversation.
I like the conversation. Yeah. I like inviting that. Somebody's got to take a swing and say it. You know what I mean? And I think that if you've got some sort of audience built, like cooked in, you're inviting a big group with a bunch of different opinions to argue with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think people are kind of scared of that now. Not in any sort of like say something controversial. We're talking about clothes. You know what I mean? But I think that talking about it more generally rather than just reporting on here's what Prada did. And it's like, dude, I don't know that many people who are I have a Prada jacket on now, but but I don't know that many people that are wearing Prada, like are actively buying up a collection of Prada. It feels like there's some certainly, but they don't care about this opinion and are having an argument about fashion. They just buy it because it's Prada. I think in a lot of the cases, which is okay, and that's that place too. And it's no question that all those brands have huge impact on the brands that are like top, middle, or middle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so there's relevancy in that news and that reporting, and that still needs to happen. But the fun reporting is when someone goes, "Hey, that Prada show sucked." And here's why, because this is out, this is boring, and people are like, "Oh shit!" Like now we've got someone with an opinion that's not just some random guy on TikTok or something, but it's someone that like has worked their way up and works at GQ or whatever the fuck. Because I think that what I mean is like not just pedigree, but like you have a certain amount of knowledge. You didn't luck into that job. No, likely. Totally. You know what I mean?
So you're familiar also, with the space.
You know the perspective. Yeah, you know what you're like. Noah Johnson knows what he's saying and who he's riling up when he says that shit. Totally. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I mean by like that ruffling feather shit. Is like,
no, I like that. I like that. Yeah. I like that. It's not going to influence how I dress, but I'm down to have the discourse.
I disagree. I think you think it won't, but like I think you think it won't. But if there's enough people discussing and you start to notice, wow, the vast majority is sort of on this side. Bear with me here. You might be like, maybe that validates something I was already kind of doing or thinking anyway. So now I'm all in because I joined this group. Or the opposite, where you're like, no, fuck that. I'm this guy. I stand on this shit, and this is what I'm going to wear, and I'm going to do it now in spite of. So I'm doing it more than I would have, just despite the general populace opinion.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean? So I think
it's influencing it one way or another.
You do participate whether you think you do or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's cool. You know, that's what it should be. I mean, I think that invites more community too. Even though there might be bickering.
Yeah, no,
but I think we're all adults enough to be like, it's fucking clothes, it's stupid. We can all bicker a little bit and be like, I like this and I like that.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Really.
I like to see it when it happens on our Discord. Everyone's like, you know, I love this and I hate this, and you have a handful of people that love it and a handful of people that hate it, and it's what it is. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I think you can do that without and still be like, we don't have to take this so seriously. It's just clothes.
Yeah, no, just the discourse as the byproduct is what I like.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's fair.
It's fun to be a part of something that's bigger than you.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like what we always talk about from the denim era. It's like I liked when I knew a guy that I followed on Instagram who I liked the way he wore his jeans, get a new pair of Common Projects or something. I'd be like, oh, damn, that's really cool. What do you think? You got the dark blue ones. I've never seen somebody wear the dark blue ones. I literally remember the dark blue ones. But that's what I'm saying. Divisive.
That's what I also say when I mean like you have to have a little bit of a platform. Yeah. You know what I mean? So because then it's like that guy's doing something different, interesting. You know what I mean? Because that's now you're having to go like if I change my jacket and I go out there and buy the loudest whatever piece we have and I change it, no one knows or gives a fuck, and we're going to wear it on here. You know what I mean? Like so, you know, so. No one cares. There's no stakes. But if someone goes, I'm doing this and I have a big ass following, and this is going to turn some people off. Now there's some drama.
Yeah,
happening. I like that
you.
build up. Whether it's again, it's all none of it really matters in the grand scheme. We're all gonna die, but it's fun.
We could all go shop at Walmart for clothes that would do the same thing that they do for us now.
I would argue that there's some people that could go do that and put a fucking fit together that would make me think I need to go to Walmart and buy stuff.
Doubt.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we should do that for a YouTube. But no. We want people to buy our shit. But
just buy our shit.
Yeah, just buy our shit. If you're listening to this, though, you know that what we're saying is true. You could, this is a wants store. You know?
I hope that we can help people through conversation and educational things that we do, like, educational is it, but what we do on YouTube with styling and talking about clothes and how we think about them and the brands we support at a lot of different levels. I'm hoping that kind of anyone that wants to be interested in, you have to be interested in fashion and care about that. It's like me buying a car is tough for me because I don't really give a shit that much. So it's just, so you have to care. But if you're willing to care and you want to be interested, we've got stuff at every level. We got education at every level. Anybody can have fucking cool style. I see tons of like fucking, people come in that I'm like, I don't know what the hell you've got on, but like
works for you.
Go look at any of our videos that like Kate or if Charabo has been in anything. They're both younger people with very specific points of view on fashion and how they wear things. And I don't know what they've got on half the time. Half the time it looks expensive, but it's not. Some other times it is expensive, but they put it together in a way that feels so casual. It doesn't look that way. Those kind of unique perspectives is the only thing that makes
Charabo had
cool,
a wild kid on yesterday. I told him, I said, buddy, this is working for you.
In 100 years, I would never put together for myself or for anybody else what he had on, but when he had it on, I'm like, God, this makes me want things that
even
he
with
has.
the ear flap hat and all that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that like that's, I guess, what you're kind of pointing out, that you can technically buy all your clothes. It's how you wear them.
But what we have, like, for the record, if I didn't work here, I probably wouldn't have this, obviously. You know what I mean? But like, I'd still come by Orslo pants because I feel good in these pants. I feel better. I'm wearing the black denim Stone 101s today. I said to Mission, I said, when we get these in, I'm going to get another color. You know what I mean? When Orslo shipment comes in, we get more 101s because I get excited to put these on. I feel good in them. They feel good on my body. It has not. I would wear these to a nice dinner or the Safeway by my house, or to go walk in the woods because it makes me feel good personally. It's something for myself to consume. And like, I feel happy when I put on all my coddle shit because I know it's special. You know what I mean? But nobody would know my coddle denim jacket is coddle. It just looks like a denim jacket. And if you look up close, you're like, oh, the texture's interesting. And that'd be as far as you think about it.
Let's do this. This might be a fun episode to have. And we're saying at the end of here, so we'll drop this in Discord and we'll also drop this on the Instagram because we have to be better about using that. So I'm committing on here. Let's drop something in there. I want people's like harshest current fashion opinions.
Yeah, great.
And
I would love to
we'll
talk
just
about
go
them.
through and address them to the best of our abilities and say if we agree or
Because
disagree.
whether I agree or disagree, I've got an opinion on it. So
If we don't look, this is the kind of what we've always done. If it's not out there and we're frustrated about it, let's just do it ourselves. So let's do that through the podcast for now, and then if it's like a fun thing, maybe we can turn it into something bigger.
Great, love it.
This is the kind of shit I want to talk about. Is like, give me your hottest, like fucking hardest lined opinion, and let's talk it through, whether it's ridiculous or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that everywhere and ask people to do that for the next episode. That'll be our first New Year episode. Okay. All right. Well, I think we've kind of done. We did it. You got any parting words before we walk into 2025?
Well, at the time of listening to this, it's a Happy New Year. So Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for listening. You got to listen to Timothy and I wrap up our year here at work. We're careening towards halfway done with the day already today, which is crazy to me. So thank you for listening. Happy New Year. That's about it. I mean, in terms of deliveries, we just did a massive, it was restock and new of Beams Japan products. So the Kobo keychains, millions more cups. I'm going to get the little sushi cup today. It's not the one that has the fish. It's the actual sushis with the names underneath. Really cute. Love that. I'm going to drink my morning coffee every morning in that. We have that live. Spring Summer 25 engineered garments. First shipment has landed. I believe that's online. I saw Abby Slack. That's online, so I'll do a little plug. So you'll have already seen that at this point. Also, we have a water/retaw, however you say it, restock shipment on the way. Last I checked, it was held up in customs. I was going to follow up via email with them today, so we'll see about that. That's about it, though. We're going to be getting a lot more shipments of stuff here literally starting in the next couple weeks. So brands start hitting us up. It gets earlier and earlier every year. So you can expect a spring summer product to trickle in. At the time of this airing this Thursday the 1st, Patreon will eat Friday the 2nd. So I'll just say that if you want to pop over to Patreon. Other than that, be in touch, and really, really thankful for this year and all the shit we got done, and us being able to sit in this room and bullshit and talk to each other.
We're like 180 something episodes.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
200.
Yeah. So thank you. For real. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for everybody who's rocked with us. This was a really good year for Canoe Club and the team and everything. So legitimately means a lot that people still listen to this and shop with us and do everything. So thanks for that. And let's do it harder next year.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep. All right.
Peace out.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.